Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Peeps and Poops. I'm your host, Rainer the dog trainer, and I don't have any dogs on me right now. I'm racing over to do the dogs, and I'm just coming back from the storage unit, and I found a K9Guru shirt. Woo! An original K9Guru shirt from John Flanagan. Now, I think he let the domain name lapse, and I think it's a guy, Mark, I think, is using the name K9Guru down south, and he looks to have like a pretty cool gig. Dang, do I have anything for this guy? Nope, I went to storage. I didn't have any food to give to this dude. But anyways, so the original K9Guru was John Flanagan, and I found a picture of him. There he is, the man, the myth, the legend. That was actually, this is when he first got back from Thailand, his first trip, I think. He's living over there now. But he took this dog gig to a whole nother level. And so he was down in Brentwood with Kaya, and they had Garbo and Franklin. And so some of the people, he was tied in with a bunch of these people that were just like the best ever with this dog training and the dog behavior stuff. And when he and Kaya would take off and go do something, then I'd go to Brentwood and I'd do the dogs. So I was kind of like the dog guy for the K9Guru down in Brentwood, Downing. And so, but the cool thing was, like, you know, one thing about Flano is from the time he gets up in the morning till the time he goes to bed at night, he just is rambling. Wow, I have the sun in my face. But from the time he gets up to the time he goes to sleep, he really is like he's a chatterbox. He just like will talk, and he's talking about the dog stuff non-stop, which I'm totally into it, so I'm all ears. And then it'd be like, oh, I gotta go do this Roddy over here, and let's go to the Udalls, and let's go here, and let's go there. And so when I'd be down there, we'd be zipping around doing all these dogs, and he had like different behavior issues here and dog stuff here. And then at the end of the day, let's go up, and so he can talk to his mentor and pick her brain. And it was just awesome down there doing dogs when he was like really doing all this stuff. So, you know, let's give credit where credit is due. I learned the majority of my stuff from John Flanagan, the K9Guru, who is really, I think, one of the best out there. And the person that he was learning this stuff from was probably like the best, top 3, whatever. And so they were the one, this is their information. They taught me this stuff. Really, John taught me this stuff. So today, anyways, enough about that. Today, I wanted us to talk about children and your dogs. Because what I see constantly is we all humanize our dogs, you know. Oh, look at you, you smart little boy. You know, do I have to come up with another college tuition for you? And so we talk to our dogs, and then we start to think, well, maybe our dog is kind of like a 4-legged human child. But the dog is like closer to a wolf, right? So you have a wolf, a domesticated wolf, in your house with your family, and the dog sees your family and friends, but your family as part of the pack, right? And the child, to the dog, the child is just another dog. The dog knows that this child and your family is the most important thing in the world to you. So the dog knows, hey, this little entity, smaller or maybe the dog size, that little dog is the most important thing in the world to Rainer, right? So what the dog does is your dog puts up with a lot of stuff from the toddler or the children, and you can, you know, they're very tolerant of it, and they love, you know, they see them as like puppies in the pack. But what can happen is a human baby or toddler can go too far with your dog, like pulling its tail, pulling its ears, sticking its, you know, hands and jabbing it, whatever, jumping on it, falling on it. so you always kind of need to keep one eye out. You need to be there when kids, kids smaller than the dog, or be there, because when the kid starts, sometimes a toddler will go for the food bowl, and if you're not controlling the food and lifting the food, the dog sees, oh, this smaller dog or this puppy is going after my food, and the dog might, do the same thing it would do to another puppy or another smaller dog in the pack. So just so we're all clear, that the dogs see these children as other dogs. And even though your dog is awesome, and your dog won't do anything to your kid because the dog grew up with your child, and that's the case for most of these dogs, actually. But just to know that the dog sees the children as other dogs. You should always be there, because the other thing is, when you're there and you're watching, the behaviors are different. And if you leave and you're not there, and there's a small child or a toddler around your dog, the behavior between your dog and your child is going to be different, because you're not there. So it's up to your dog to make the decisions on how to deal with different things, like, taking the dog's food, jumping on the dog's head, pulling the dog's tail, whatever it might be that's kind of pushing the envelope on what the dog will tolerate. So that's my ramble. And these dogs will protect your children with their lives. These dogs will be very tolerant of your children. And you might even, you might go, well, I trust my dog 100% with my kid. Well, so just remember two things: that the dog views the children as other dogs. They can't make the difference that these are people. And the dog's behavior with your child will be different when you're not there. So hopefully, that's just some food for thought. And, there's a lot of kids running around over Easter and Resurrection Day. And I'm looking at the kids, and I'm getting done doing all these dogs, and I thought that would be a good one for us to talk about. So anyways, thank you guys so much once again. Like, subscribe. That helps the channel and the algorithms. And we're still getting this thing going. And we have a Patreon in the link if you want to help the channel. That's always good. And we'll see you guys next time. Poof!